Ah, yes, Schein Time, where we asked you guys on social media, on X, on Instagram, to ask us questions. We had so much fun the first time. The reception was unbelievable. We love hearing from you. Non-sports, that's the only requisite, right? Only prerequisite to this Schein Time show. Do's, don'ts, faux pas, fashion, movies, music, whatever it is. Just not sports. That's the deal. So we compiled your best tweets, compiled your best posts and questions from Instagram. It was such a hit the first time we did it. Honestly, we're all like, that's amazing. That's fun. You guys are great. I'm great. The Schein Time crew is great. Everyone's laughing, crying, yelling. We're going to do it again. So I asked our outstanding director, our good friend Sam, to give us the first one for the Scheinanigans. Okay. Do you recline your seat on an airplane? Why or why not? So I'm going to say this, and when I say it, you're going to hear it, and when you hear it, you're going to judge me, and then after you judge me, I want you to judge yourself. I always recline my seats on an airplane. I also simultaneously expect you to recline your seats on an airplane. It's a real simple thing. I paid for a seat that reclines. You paid for a seat that reclines. If I paid for a seat where I can plug in earphones, listen to whatever's on the screen or whatever airline, I expect the TV in front of me to work. I expect the headphones to work. I expect to be able to move back, if that's my choice. If you want to move back, you want to lean back, you want to recline, you do it. There are seats on an airplane, you can look at a map, where you can't recline. At back of the plane, that's a choice. Oftentimes not the same price. I've paid for a seat where I'm either in an exit row or I'm sitting first class. I would never pay for first class, by the way, unless it was a monster trip like a honeymoon 20 years ago. Not gonna happen. Work? That's different. You always recline. It drives me nuts when I see on social media, oh, some idiot, some jackass, he's reclining in a... No! You're supposed to! That's your job, that's your right, that's your ticket. I expect you to recline. I'm gonna recline as well. So I know this is a faux pas to a lot of people. You always recline. By the way, I also always have to go to the bathroom every 45 minutes. The Schein Time crew will tell you that. My wife will tell you that. Anyone I've ever worked with will tell you that. I'm always on an aisle, and I always recline. That's it. That's how it works. All right, Sam, next one. Top 5 rappers of all time. So, I think this is a good one on a lot of different levels, right? Now, I do have a bias when it comes to 90s hip hop, and specifically more when it comes to East Coast. Just gonna throw that out there. The number 1 rapper of all time, and I will fight you on this, Notorious B.I.G. Mo Money, Mo Problems, the best. I mean, I go back and think about college, just absolutely the best. So Notorious B.I.G., always number 1. Now, top 5, and the key word there is your, right? I'll give you some names. First of all, to me, it's clearly Notorious B.I.G., number 1, Jay-Z's number 2. That's the top 2 for me, and I think it should be your top 2 as well, okay? I love Eminem. I love the Beastie Boys. I love Nas. I love Kendrick Lamar. Little West Coast. Love Snoop Dogg. Top of my head, that's where I'm going. In terms of, I love Ludacris. Best rappers of all time. But Notorious B.I.G., Jay-Z, top of the heap. Does Lauryn Hill count? I was always a big Lauryn Hill fan. But those are my top rappers. I know it says 5, but I feel compelled to give you some others as well. Not that Lauryn Hill is going to be in the top 5 or anyone's list. I did love Lauryn Hill, though. All right, Sam, next one. Should ketchup be refrigerated? You don't get cold ketchup in a restaurant. Why settle at home? So, when I got this on Twitter, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is Rob Miller time. This is the single most thought-provoking thing I have ever read in the history of Twitter.com and X.com. This tweet, right here, from Mr. Rob Miller time. My brain is broken. I don't have an answer. I asked my wife. I've asked friends. I've asked members of the ScheinTime staff. This is the only question I've ever thought about that I received for this exercise in advance that came right to me. I don't know. I only keep ketchup in the fridge at home. Only and always. You never see ketchup in the fridge. It's always on the table in a restaurant. I've never asked for cold ketchup. I've never thought at home to use warm ketchup. Have you? This broke my brain. I've got nothing. Should I start switching it up? What if I walked into a restaurant and I said, excuse me, do you have refrigerated ketchup? Like, is that a real thing? Have you ever used ketchup at home that was just from the cabinet? This broke my brain. I mean, I got nothing. I got nothing. All right, Sam, next one. Next one. That's the best thing I've ever seen in the history of Twitter or X. Do you prefer watching Star Wars over Star Trek? The answer is yes. Not a Star Trek guy. Love Star Wars as a kid. Haven't watched any of the new ones. I think the last Star Wars I saw was probably in like 98, 99. I'm out. We showed the kids the first Star Wars. I love the first three of all time. You know, Return of the Jedi, always phenomenal. Luke Skywalker. I dressed up for Halloween when I was in kindergarten. My favorite Halloween costume ever, as Yoda. In a lot of ways, I like to consider myself the Yoda of sportscasters. Love Star Wars. Star Trek? Sam, you give me the next one, please. Thank you very much. This is from Molly Golden. What goes first? The cereal or the milk? What kind of sick freak would ever consider putting milk in before the cereal? Seriously, what's wrong with you? Why is this even a thing? You put cereal in, and then, however you want to do it, I'm not going to judge this, the perfect milk-cereal ratio for you. But you always go cereal first, then milk. I don't even understand this. This broke my brain in the other way. There are people who put, this is how you do it, milk into the bowl of cereal. And I do love cereal. It's been a while since I've had cereal. I know that sounds like a weird thing. Used to eat like Special K every day. Now I'm more of the cottage cheese variety or overnight oats or yogurt in the morning. But I do love, Honey Nut Cheerios. Who would ever do that? Next one, Sam. I can't even look at this tweet anymore. But thank you, Molly Golden. All right. What is the greatest concert or concert experience you ever had? So, I love this. This is from Jeremy Auchi? Who knows? Who cares? It's a great question, and that's all that matters. Jeremy participates a lot, watches the show, listens to the show, so I appreciate that. Because I love this, because in terms of greatest concert versus concert experience, there are a couple of different ways to answer it. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Madison Square Garden. I'm a huge Chili Peppers fan. I think it was late 90s. That was an all-timer. Chainsmokers and Lizzo in Miami. 2020 SiriusXM concert at the Super Bowl right before the world ended, right, with COVID. That was a ridiculous, unbelievable experience. Speaking of experiences, I'm going to give you the artist and I'm going to give you the venue. At the Apollo Theater, the legendary Apollo Theater, Lady Gaga. I went with my wife. It was a SiriusXM concert. She put on a master class in terms of, outfit changes, performance, songs, voice, unbelievable. That was a legendary concert experience. Dave Matthews Bands, outdoors, and I've seen the Dave Matthews Band probably 7, 8 times. Vernon Downs, upstate New York, central New York, right near Syracuse, about like 45 minutes outside Syracuse. It's an outdoor venue, unbelievable concert experience. Noah Kahn, San Francisco, the most recent concert I've been to, another Sirius XM concerts. In college, right after college, with my wife, who was my girlfriend then, so I think this was 2000, 2001, Billy Joel, Elton John together at the Carrier Dome. That was unbelievable. In college, Billy Joel at the Carrier Dome, that was unbelievable as well. Spin Doctors, that was an incredible concert at a random fair. And my freshman year of college, Tribe Called Quest was playing at our outdoor party every year. Syracuse University had a party on South Campus. That was unbelievable. So I love this question because it's both greatest concert and concert experience you've ever had and why. That was unbelievable stuff. All right, I'm gonna shuffle out of here. A little Instagram action. Let's have a little fun. I love these Instagrams. They're terrific. All right, Sam, what do we got? So this is from, I'm going to tell you this right now. I know who this is. This is from my radio producer's wife. It's from Kat. Airport arrival schedule. Which actually, when I saw this come in, I was like, have Bob and I ever been late to a show? Late to the airport? I don't think so. I have a strong take on this. First of all, one of my big pet peeves in life, don't waste my time. Seriously, ScheinTime crew knows that, my wife knows that, friends know, just don't waste my time. When we do what we do for a living, we're in the hurry up and wait business, right? Which in a lot of ways is what happens in terms of going to the airport. I have a good friend, buddy of mine, Matt. I refer to him sometimes as Airport Matt. We're actually going to Mexico together next week with our wives. It's interesting when you look at it. He's one of these get to the airport 3 hours early. Here's the way I would do it, right? First of all, if there was only some kind of app where you could look at it and see how long it's going to take to get to the airport, that exists. What a concept. I know there could always be an accident or something happens or whatever it is. I want to be through security, sitting at the gate, hour 15. That's it. I don't need too much time at the airport. I will never be late and in a rush, then you're panicked, then you're sweaty, and you feel like you're all out of sorts and out of whack, and you're checking your bag 16 times, and it's awful. That's the worst feeling in the world. Being rushed to there's nothing worse than when you're late. By the way, TSA pre-check, it's one of the greatest inventions in the history of the world. It's like the wheel, the telephone, TSA pre-check, getting through those lines, it's unbelievable. So you got to factor it in. But to me, getting through security, hour 15, you're good. Sit back, have a coffee, survey the scene. By the way, chances are your flight's gonna be late anyway. Let's be clear about that. Again, people are nuts. 3 hours in advance, 2 hours in advance. No. Amateur hour. Who do you think is a better rap artist? Jadakiss or Lloyd Banks? So, obviously, I don't have either one. We did this earlier, my top 5 all time. Jadakiss. All day. Any day of the week. Twice on Sunday. Next one, please, Sam. Can I date my friend's sister? The hell's wrong with you? No, you cannot date your friend's sister. Even if your friend says, I need you to date my sister, the answer is no. Like, this is one of those where you have to be absolutely on planet delusional to think this is going to end well. But what if it's my soulmate? It's not. She's beautiful. There are other fish in the sea. What's the expression? You're always going to factor in your friend, first and foremost. Always. That's a friend. That's the definition of friendship, right? We're not going to mess around with this. It's on you to find somebody else. Can I date my friend's sister? Francis Scott Burke. What are we doing in our free time here? Please, you're better than that. I believe in you, Francis Scott Burke. Are you a fish fan like your wife? I'm not as cool as she is. I don't dislike fish, I like fish. Play the Sirius XM Fish Channel all the time. It's always on in the car, my wife's always playing it. She likes going to shows. She always says every year, we should go to the fish show at Madison Square Garden, when they're there like the final week of the calendar year. Like, yeah, we'll do it. Absolutely, honey. Never done it. Now, summertime, maybe I would do it. You know, you go to a fish show, you got to be in the right frame of mind. Have a couple of days to get your mind right after. Fish is great. I like fish. I don't love fish. I like fish. Like fish. By the way, Trey, big Mets fan. Huge Mets fan. Trey Anastasio. Just throwing that out there. But my wife is a fanatic. Like back in the day in college, even before I knew her, I always say, you know, we didn't date until at the very end of college. We both would tell you, never would have dated in college. This is a great example. Great example. All right. This is from Eric G731. When going to New York as a first-time visitor, where is the best Italian deli you suggest to someone spending their money? Okay. Couple of important things here, right? I don't want to get thrown out of the club, but I always will choose an Italian deli over a Jewish deli. And I love my Jewish delis. Let me go to Katz's. Let me get pastrami on rye. Love it. Going to an Italian deli, I mean, cash only, no tables, the Italian hero, an Italian combo, it's the best, always. You know what I'm not gonna do? I'm not gonna give you one in New York City. You need to find a place, a suburb, somewhere in New Jersey, somewhere in Westchester County, somewhere on Long Island. Not that I would ever advise you to actually go to Long Island. But you need to find a hole-in-the-wall local deli and just feast. Look at these pictures. I mean, I'm salivating. I'm drooling. This is why we're not showing my face right now. I have a napkin wiping the drool away. New York City, look, you want to go to Mama's too? Great pizza, great Italian heroes. That would be my recommendation. There are plenty of places I could recommend. Find the Italian hole-in-the-wall local deli. Study it on Reddit, wherever you go. You can, Eric G731, you can send another tweet, another post on Instagram. I'll tell you whatever specific place in New York. But I can't give you just, you got to be more specific because every town has one. My Anthony's Deli, growing up, the Notos had the best sandwiches. Artie had one tooth, wore the white t-shirt. I mean, it was like, right, it was perfect, perfect. Nothing like an Italian hero, nothing like an Italian deli. Can I say yes to this one, Godfather or Goodfellas? You gonna make me pick? Nah, no. And by the way, I think my take on this is a credit to Goodfellas. I think if anything, Goodfellas is underrated. I put Goodfellas in the Godfather conversation. If you can make me choose one, which is literally the game here, I'd go 1A, but I think they're both all-timers. All-time movies. What else we got, Sam? What is acceptable temperature for central air? Adam Schein. Listen, my wife will tell you this, my kids will tell you this, anyone who's worked with me will tell you this. Our senior executive intern, Tessa, who's in the studio right now with me, she will tell you this. I keep this studio 65 degrees. I keep the bedroom 67 degrees. I keep the downstairs of the house under 70 always. Everyone in my house is like, why is it so cold? Coworkers walk in, why is it so cold? Who wants to breathe in hot air? Who wants to sweat? Also, you can do this. My wife does this. Just puts on a sweatshirt, sweatpants. My SiriusXM radio studio, my producers are in the studio with me. I mean, they're no longer passive-aggressive on it. They're aggressive-aggressive. Like it's July, it's the middle of the summer, they're wearing winter hats, they're wearing hooded sweatshirts, they're wearing North Face jackets because I keep the studio so cold. Oh well, that's how it works. Not even passive-aggressive. Aggressive-aggressive. Yeah, this is it. 68 year round. Horror movies, overrated, underrated. Let me tell you something. I will never see a horror movie. Saw a couple of, Friday the 13th, Jason, Freddy, when I was younger. Scared the hell out of me. Yeah, this is not what I'm grooving on. Forget about it. I will never watch a horror movie. So you can tell me. I don't want my kids watching horror movies. I don't want nightmares. I got enough going on. Never do I want to see a horror movie. So I can't even answer that one. So overrated, underrated, not my cup of tea. Favorite city that's not in New York? Well, since it's not in New York, I guess I can't say Syracuse. Just throwing it out there. Favorite city? Maui? Maui in Hawaii is unbelievable. Unbelievable. London? Florence? Tel Aviv? New Orleans? I'll tell you what city is amazing, okay? And I'm talking about the city and really the surrounding areas too. LA. I love Los Angeles. California dreaming, Malibu, SoCal, all of it. I am so excited the Super Bowl is back in LA. I think that is an unbelievable city. I think Los Angeles, we had a great family trip to LA. Everything about LA to me is magical. So top of my head, those are some of my favorite cities. Love New York, but Maui, Tel Aviv, London, Florence, New Orleans. New Orleans is great. Charleston is terrific. LA though, California dreaming, always. That was fun. We're gonna do this again. More questions. 68 degrees. Unbelievable. Who watches horror movies? What are we doing here? That was unbelievable. Keep the questions coming. I love this stuff. On Instagram, on X, TikTok, and Adam Schein. And we'll see you again tomorrow on Schein Time.